all right, considering the situations. But not just that, multiple things. They didn't just ruin my life. So I haven't lived with my kids for 4 years because of this lie. So there's a lie that they fucking told, that I knew the truth, that they used the court system and they weaponised their judiciary, as they just have recently against members of the British public, and they shut me up and they gagged me, and I let them gag me. I allowed them to silence me for 3 years. And those 3 years resulted in me leaving home, moving abroad, lost, nowhere to live, moving from one place to another place. But I think not just the lie, my son's 15 now. Bailey, the boy in the story, was 15. They f***ed life. They f***ed life. I watched the whole family break. They f***ed Ollie, the little grade A student who come to court and testified. Grade A, straight grade A student studying law at university, come to court and give evidence. They called her a liar. They called 5 children that testified. Justice Nickman.
Tommy Robinson says that what happened to him was not just a legal defeat or a bad ruling. It was a slow, deliberate destruction carried out through a system that he believes was designed to silence him, not to deliver justice. He argues that the damage began with a lie that he claims the authorities knew was false, yet chose to protect because it was useful in shutting him down. According to Robinson, that lie became the foundation for years of legal pressure, restrictions, and punishment, to the point where he was legally forbidden to speak about his own case, his own family, or the evidence that he says proved him right. He describes the gag order as a form of enforced isolation, one that didn't just take away his voice, but slowly removed everything else from his life, his home, his sense of safety, his public platform, and even his ability to be present for his children. He says the 3 years in which he was ordered to remain silent were the most destructive period of his life. During that time, he says he left the country, not because he wanted to, but because staying meant being monitored, restricted, and constantly threatened with prison if he spoke a single word the court didn't approve of. He recalls living in temporary rooms, constantly moving from location to location, feeling like a man without a country, without legal protection, and without a future. The emotional core of his story, however, is not about politics. It is about family. He reminds people that his son was a child when this began, and now that son is 15, the same age as the boy mentioned in the original case, while he, as a father, has missed years he will never get back. Robinson also points to the treatment of witnesses as proof, in his view, that the system was not interested in truth. He recounts how a law student, someone with no criminal past and nothing to gain, testified on his behalf only to be labeled a liar by the court. The same thing, he says, happened to 5 different children who came forward to give evidence. To him, this was not just dismissal. It was institutional humiliation, a way of sending a message. It doesn't matter what you say. The verdict has already been chosen. He argues that the result was not simply a personal loss, but a total breakdown of trust in the justice system. Where most people assume courts exist to protect the innocent, Robinson claims that, in his case, the system was designed to protect power, not truth. And that once he understood that, he realized the battle was no longer just legal, but existential. He says he watched his family fracture under the stress, watched his reputation be dismantled in the press while he was legally barred from responding, and watched people believe a narrative he says he was forbidden to correct. In his telling, this was never just about him. It was about what happens when a state decides that silencing someone is more valuable than proving they are wrong. And for Robinson, that silence was the real punishment. Not prison, not exile, but being stripped of the right to defend himself while the world was allowed to judge him.
This isn't about the royal family. I mean, this is about the public. The public is telling the royal family what to do now. Charles has received his instructions from the nation and he is carrying them out. 2 weeks ago, he tried to get away with saying, "Don't worry, he won't call himself the Duke of York anymore." So we go, all right, that's all right. Of course, you can't take Prince away from him. That's his birthright. We go, okay then. Although he won't officially lose these titles because you need an act of parliament for that, and the king doesn't want to bother the parliament with that. That act of parliament, it may still be necessary, but it doesn't seem like it is. Take about 10 minutes. It will race through. So that's nonsense. But it seems now that they don't need an act of parliament, and it also seems now suddenly we can strip him of the right to call himself prince. As I say, the rules seem to be changing as they go along.
Maybe the king's more powerful than we ever imagined.
No, he's less powerful than he ever imagined. That's the truth.
But, I think that this has been a hard 24 hours, 48 hours for Andrew. He's an egomaniac. He will hate being Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. I'm going to go out of my way to ensure that I refer to him as Mr. Mountbatten Windsor, or Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, because, he says he's innocent of what Virginia accuses him of, and if we accept that as truth, I
don't accept it.
Well, if you do, there's no justification for his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
He's a liar. You're right about Virginia Giuffre. This book, Andrew Lowney's book a month or so ago, entitled "The Rise and Fall of the House of York." This process of Andrew's fall from grace and Fergie's has been going on now for years, ever since he paid £12 million to stop Virginia Giuffre going to court, to civil court in America. So at that point, I'm giving him £12 million not to go to court, but of course I deny her allegations. I've never met her. Why are you giving her £12 million then?
Right.
People go to the court, clear your name. Oh, no, I don't think I'll do that. So nobody's believed him. But I think this is what I said earlier. Possibly the most excoriating line in this statement from Buckingham Palace is this. Prince Andrew will now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, Royal Lodge, These censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. That shows that Charles and the royal family are as frustrated as the rest of the nation that this man-child continues to say, I didn't do it, I didn't do it, I didn't do it. He's just lying, isn't he?
It's impossible. Charles is in a difficult situation. You talk about that payout. That was the Queen's team that wanted to do that so that she could have a clean platinum jubilee. And I wonder how resentful the king must be, or might be, of the king's team for not really taking care of this situation. This was an inherited problem that exploded during his reign, a reign that he waited 70 years for, and a reign where he didn't realize he was going to be having to babysit his brother.
And to go on, these censures are deemed necessary, notwithstanding the fact that he continues to deny the allegations against him. And then it goes on to say, again, this is essentially saying, to hell with you, Andrew, you are lying. It says, their majesties wish to make clear that their thoughts and utmost sympathies have been and will remain with the victims and survivors of any and all forms of abuse. What they actually mean there is the victims and survivors of sexual abuse, and they are essentially saying Andrew sexually abused Virginia Giuffre. I'm saying it, the nation is saying it. What are you going to do about it, Mr. Windsor, Mr. Mountbatten Windsor? You sexually abused that woman on 3 different continents, didn't you? It's clear that's what the palace believe. I believe it. I think you believe it.
I don't want to be involved.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He ain't gonna do anything. He ain't gonna do anything. And it's his little boy lie that has got him into this deep trouble. It's pathetic.
I think the downfall, looking back at all of this, was the arrogance in thinking that you were going to outsmart the BBC.
Yes, and the nation and the world.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, that entitled and arrogance was on, and delusion was on full display for the world to see. And when you see something like that, it challenges you, and you say, well, I'm going to catch you in a lie. And what he did right there was he inspired, including Virginia, a lot of people to catch him in a lie. And here we are.